Sparkle Jets. This is our podcast. It's called Best of Friends. Here we go now, yeah!
Hi, everybody. This is Mike Simmons. Welcome to our podcast, the Sparkle Jets UK Best of Friends thing. I am here with my bandmates Susan West and Jamie Knight.
Legends.
And we're here to talk about our project called Best of Friends, which is coming out on Big Stir Records on June 30th, 2023. And it's a crazy project, 20 years in the making. Actually, it was 2 weeks in the making, but the idea was very old. And we finally did it. And now we're here to talk about it. And we're talking with a lot of the friends of ours whose songs we recorded to talk about the tunes and whatever they're doing, whatever we've been doing, or whatever we did. So joining us right now is the fabulous, he legally changed his name to his stage name. It's one name. He's like their Cher, Madonna, and Stootsie, everybody. This is Stootsie.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Stootsie from Salzburg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rock and roll city.
The home of the Sound of Music.
Yeah.
Salzburg's famous for two things: Sound of Music and Stootsie of the Seesaw.
Oh,
there we go.
And maybe a third thing too.
We've gone over this a lot, but everyone, it's new for each person that's an artist. How did we originally come up with this idea way back?
You're asking me? Well, okay. So we had, long story, but we had this weird idea when we first met all the people from LA. There was a joke going around because there were so many of these tribute CDs happening, which still kind of seemed to happen. And somebody was joking and said there should be a tribute CD to the Sparkle Jets. I mean, there's so many tributes. Might as well be a tribute to a band none of us have ever heard of until today. And we all laughed, and then it kept coming up, and finally we were on the way home, and we thought, that's a crazy idea. It's just nutty enough that it might work. So we asked over email everybody, like, hey, I know we were joking, but we're thinking of actually doing it. Would you be interested? And we immediately got so much response back from people that we ran out of songs and started handing out songs we hadn't even recorded yet, and made an album called I Heart Sparkle Jets UK, which was kind of fun, had a whole bunch of cool people on it. And we were thinking later, like, we should record a bunch of their songs and have kind of a, answer to that where we do some of our own things that we like. And I'd written a list. A lot of the stuff that was on our list was from the first exposure we had to a lot of the bands, being the giveaway IPO Volume 2 disc that we'd gotten from David when we played the first IPO festival. Or it was the second year of IPO, but was our first. And a lot of the stuff on that, and probably the Volume 3 also, were kind of our introduction to a lot of the bands. And one of those tracks, I'm pretty sure, was the Seesaw, no?
And you, Mike, you also did your democratic thing where you asked us all to write our favorite songs, in the scene. And I think that the song from Seesaw was on all three of our, lists.
Yeah. There's just something about that song, and we'll play it in a sec, that, I don't know, it just sounded so damn good. And that intro with the guitars and the way that one snare hit comes in. It's everything about that thing is so good. And then once the song comes in and it just keeps driving away with that bass part and everything is fantastic. Our version, I don't know if, I think I might have given you a copy.
Yeah.
You've probably heard it, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll play a little piece of it. It sounds pretty much exactly like yours. And it's great too.
Far better.
No, it doesn't. No.
The organ solo is unbelievable.
Oh, there you go. That's a new thing that I added in there. I don't know. It all was kind of a blur, but let me pull that up so the people can hear what we're talking about. I know, I'm almost there. It's really odd. Half of the Sparkle Jet songs didn't show up here like they should have. That's the issue. Let me just type it in here. Okay. Well, even that's not working out for me. Here we go. This will work. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's I don't know how to describe the feeling, the to receiving a kind of knighthood from people you admire, respect their work, and they choose your song. It's beyond.
Well, dude, we really like that track.
It's a really good song.
Thank you.
You write really good songs.
There's a lot of magical components to that, and I have a lot of memories of it too for different reasons. Like, okay,
it opened up this our LA experience at that time, 2000.
Yeah,
when we recorded it in '99, and I always go to the NAMM show.
Right,
because I'm in a music instrument business, and I hate skiing, and I find it fantastic to go to LA in January when it's snowy here and dreadful cold. And touching down in LA is always the best thing in January. And I had the new EP with me at that time, and I had NAMM. I will pass out CDs to people who don't care, but I didn't. And 2 days before I left back home, there was a kind of a power pop thing at the Troubadour. And I have no idea why I went there. I have an idea because that was perfect for me. And it's like I take all my CDs, which I've left with me, and in there I started handing out CDs. And within 5 minutes, a guy came to me and said, give him one. He's interesting. He's radio. Give him one. He has a new festival, which happens to be, it was David Bash, which I handed one CD, and one radio DJ, I haven't his name, don't remember, but he played the song on some kind of station, and we received mails. We heard your song it was beginning of the internet in Austria, at least. So, and then David, I received a mail from David, says, would you like to come to LA? We have a festival. And we said, oh God. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
New millennium times for us.
Yeah, we were all kind of in the same boat because we had just found out about it too.
Yeah.
And I think we probably met you at one of those meet and greets.
I think so, yeah.
I remember I have a picture of the two of us, all of us probably at Spaceland.
Oh yeah,
in the audience.
This was our first show, yeah, the Spaceland.
Well, what happened too? And one of the reasons I really liked you guys, aside from that one song, is and this is a weird thing that I think the year before was our first show there, and we'd played one of the park shows. At Eastgate Park or whatever.
Eastgate Park, yeah,
for John Borak.
Strawberry Festival.
Yeah, so we did that, and then the next year, since I'd become friends with some folks, and I was friends with John Borak. He was the guy that was in charge of the video for that, and he said, it'd be nice if we got slightly better sound, because I'd said, well, our thing was great. We'd done it the year before with our band, and it was cool watching us on TV, but our sound was dreadful because the mix was just junk. You know how that goes. Yeah. Because the mix from the board is not really conducive to television. Yeah. And so I was probably complaining about that to him, and he said, well, do you want to mix it? And I said, well, how am I going to do that? And at the time, I'd never done anything remotely like that. We had a tiny little mixer. I think I must have borrowed it, Jamie. It was a Mackie, but I don't think it was yours. It was like, I don't remember where I got it, like a 16-channel Mackie. And he let me set up in the back of their trailer, their little TV truck. And it wasn't actually in the TV truck proper. It was in the little 3-foot section on the back where all the back of the stuff is, where all the plugs are. So if you need to go repair something or change it. And so I'm set up in there on a bunch of cardboard boxes and some stuff. And I've got either headphones or a pair of speakers or something. I think I might have brought my monitors and this little desk, and I don't know how we did it, but somehow I must have got a split or did something. I don't remember, but I'd never mixed a live concert in my life, and I brought my little recorder there, like a mini disc recorder, and I hit record, and then because the show had already started, right? And I just went ahead and powered up all my gear, and I had the speakers on. I threw on the power. And hit record, and you guys were on stage, and I know this because the song starts midway through, and it was one of the most memorable moments of my life, really, not just because of what was going on with the music, but I'd never done that.
Yeah.
And I turned it on, and immediately, usually when that happens, everything sounds kind of bad. And I figured it would be kind of crappy, and I'd have to mix it and mess with it to make it try to sound like music. But I just turned it on, and it immediately sounded amazing. It already sounded mixed. And I have it to this day. I listened to it yesterday.
Really?
I can play a piece of it if you want, but
danger.
It's good. It sounds exactly like the record. And then you did this song, and it sounded exactly like the record. Even the two guitars on either side, the whole thing.
Okay.
It's fantastic. And then the drum comes in the same way. Sounds perfect. And I was like, this band is really good. You know, you have good gear. You knew what you were doing. You dialed in the sounds.
We just set up.
Who knows? I know those things are impossible, but whatever. And I recorded all the bands that day, and they weren't all great, but you guys right up without any work sounded amazing. And I was just like, okay, they must really be a good band, because I've never, this didn't take any effort from me. Yeah. And I'll never forget that. It was really
Play
cool.
the live.
Okay.
Play the live
I'll
version.
find it.
Wasn't that the same show too that the Oranges were at?
I believe it could have been.
And
Sure.
so it was that we were watching your band, and then the Oranges were a little distracting because they were doing jumping jacks and push-ups on the side of the stage, warming up, because that's how they warmed up for a show. It was like, it was very surreal and
Bizarre.
beautiful. Yeah, it was magic. It was magic.
Couldn't talk, just sing and dance around the tree. Yes, yeah. We sat there still all night. Face was lit by candlelight. I want to hold you.
I have no recordings from any live show the last 25 years. Not one.
Do you want
It's
some?
the first time I heard a song. Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if this is the same thing. Turning it. I think this is the same day. Or it's the record. It's hard to tell.
Oh, coming back to you, thinking that I do. So waking up around, turning back the to understand that no one goes back to you. On my own, I am alright. On my own, I am alright. I heard your voice on the phone, and I couldn't say my name. And you got angry, shouted out. Can't you see that I'm happy, living lonely? You have to understand that no one comes back to you. On my own, I am alright. On my own, I am alright. On my own, I am happy. On my own, I am so free. On my own, I am happy. On my own, I am so free. On my own, I am alright. On my own, I am all night. I'm alright without you. Sorry.
That's On My Own live at
On My Own,
Eastgate.
yeah?
Live at Eastgate Park, I think, in Fountain Valley, or was it Garden Grove?
Garden Grove.
Garden
yeah.
Grove, yeah.
Garden Grove, yeah.
Crazy. Not too far from here, actually. Probably about 10 minutes from where we are right now.
Really? Okay. Ah.
Well, there you go.
15 hours from...
Long way from you.
plane.
15 hours
wow.
by plane. There you
Yeah.
go. Well, that's see, it sounded pretty good. For
Yeah,
me
we
not
were
knowing what
kind
I'm
of
doing.
it created for us such an kick in the butt going to LA. The year before we played London, we played the Dublin Castle and Bull and Gate, and we supported Paul Weller in Austria. But Austrian radio didn't nothing happened at that time. But we were so hyped with this LA thing, and we had a weekly, how do you say, a club where we played once a week, and that gave us a bit of confidence on stage to set up fast and have a decent sound immediately.
Were other bands? Did you have a little scene going with other bands there?
Not really. We were really on our own. It's really a hobby in Austria, singing in English and doing guitar, 60s style pop. It's not a business. It's just for fun. And with a little luck, Well, we had 2 years later, we had a kind of hit in Austrian radio, and which worked up to Germany. Also, we have a cool radio station. We have just 4 radio stations here. National radio. And the cool one is FM4, and they played one song until it got number 1 in the Austrian indie charts. So, and if you're on FM4 number 1, everyone in Germany recognizes it, because Germany is very jealous of this radio station, all the indie community, because it's a very cool radio station. And so we had tours Germany, and so this was a cool time. So after 2003, but it started with this LA confidence. It was such an amazing, and we have endlessly thank David Bash for putting this crazy thing on stage.
I know you had did a lot of records, or like a bunch of EPs, and then you did a comp of the EPs. Yeah, because I had
Christmas
fun
album
collecting them. Oh yeah, I think I have all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I have quite a big stack. I'd go get them, but they're in my garage. All my CDs are in the garage. They're impossible to even get to. But I stopped counting around 5,000, and then I just put them all out in the garage, and I can't even find them anymore. But I had a big Seesaw collection, and I liked your art. I thought it was always really good. You guys always presented yourselves really well, and the recordings are always really good too.
That is the fun thing, because it was my bedroom at my mom's place. I had a studio, a small Allen Heath mixer, and a 16-track for Tascam.
Wow,
16-track.
You did a great job, man. This stuff sounds awesome.
Yeah, and I've found the sounds better on the analog tapes than on the digital ones. I did remastering of all the Seesaw things in November, December, and all the analog recordings are far superior in sound.
Wow.
So the natural bass response and bass frequencies or highs, it's so different and so right with the analog recordings.
Well, the fact that you can tell the difference means that you're a league beyond me of being able to understand
you hear
quality.
it instantly. Problem Romantik is analog tape.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
our dogs are very excitable.
Ringo.
Ringo is no longer with us, but now we have two dachshunds here.
Whoa.
Yeah. What you guys would call a tackle. Yes.
Whoa. This is the alarm goes off that I should set up
that you need to come and join the podcast.
Yes.
All right. Well, we got on early, so that's good. Yeah, so we have a couple of long-haired dachshunds, which is fun. So yeah. So technically, what language do you speak in Austria?
It's sort of German. No, it's normal German.
Yeah.
And
okay.
we in Salzburg really don't have a real dialect. We speak so middle of the road. Nobody knows exactly where we come from. We have no special slang. That's the strange thing about Salzburg.
I've been there a couple of times.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I have. We've talked about this. One of the coolest things I ever saw in my life was Hellbrunn with all the crazy fountains.
Yes.
Yeah, I went there when I was 10. I've got video of it. Yeah, that was awesome. It's this cool place, you guys.
This. Yeah.
Where there's it's an old, I don't know when it was built, the 1800s, I guess, but there was this guy that decided to make all this crazy stuff using only water as the mechanics behind it. So a lot of really fancy mechanical things.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Like miniatures and
the
animated
water plays Wasserspiele.
The Wasserspiele, yeah.
Wasserspiele, where they have a table for dinner and all the seats, all in marble. And if the guests sit down, he turns on fountain and all the seats get wet from behind.
Yeah, there's like a little tiny hole, and you wouldn't notice if you sat there. It's the first thing they show you when you go there. Yeah. And I guess the idea was he would sit at the head of the table. His did not have a water supply. And the whole thing was he was like the lord of the manor or whatever. He was the local bigwig. So if you were seated at his table, and there was this trough of water down the center where they would put the wine bottles and everything. So that was like, oh, there's water and there's fountains all around it. And you weren't allowed to stand up unless he stood up. Like once you were seated, and he would just sit there and smile and then like nod to his servant, and they would turn the spigot, and everyone would just get, a butt full of water, basically. And it's a big stream. It's a 20-foot high stream of water when you're not sitting on it. So there was some pressure behind it.
Yeah, it's all natural. It's not a electrical pump. It's just by the downfall of the water.
Yep, and there's all these things everywhere. Like in one moment you're standing there looking at this thing, and they're giving you a spiel, and then all of a sudden there's these giant stag heads on the wall, and there's like little tiny water outlets at the end of every point on the stag horns, and everybody gets soaked. Yeah, you basically spend the whole day getting soaked. It's a good time. I highly recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're actually going to be Susan and I are going to be kind of nearby you this summer. We're going to be in what's the name of it? We're going to be in the French Alps for a hot minute, sometime in June or July. So I'll let you know. But cool. Yeah, it's like we were talking about this yesterday. People were like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming to San Francisco. You should stop by for lunch." Yeah. No, it's a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, as the French Alps is yes,
a little bit of a
not around the corner.
Well, on the map, you start looking around. It's like, and that's how I treat. Whenever I've been to Europe, that's kind of how I treat it. It's just like, well, okay, it's there. It's not that far. Let's go. And then, so you just go. It must be fun living there, or unless actually it's probably the opposite. You don't go see everything because oh no, I'd have to drive 45 minutes to get, because you can go to another country. How many different ones? Like 3 or 4 other countries are within probably a half-hour drive of you. right?
Not half an hour. I'm
Pretty close.
In 15 minutes, I'm in Bavaria, in Germany, and Italy is 3 hours. 2 hours from here, and then we're at the border.
What about Switzerland? It's got to be close.
Switzerland
No?
is 4.
Oh, really?
4 hours. Yeah, a bit of a drag into Innsbruck, and it's a bit of a complicated drive to get to the Swiss.
And then Vienna's down the other direction, and then you've
It's
got
the other direction. Yeah.
You've got
So I don't like to
Republic.
drive to Vienna. It's the same. It takes me to drive to Vienna. I'm at the sea in Italy.
and that sounds more fun.
Yes.
Probably less baked goods, but a little better weather. No, I've never been to Vienna,
fish.
so
It's you need 2-3 days.
Wow.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, I've seen pictures. It's pretty magnificent.
Yeah.
It's very different from the other places in Europe. It's they kind of went all ham on the architecture there.
Yeah, cool.
So Stootsie, this year's NAMM is at the wrong time, but they'll be back to their regular schedule in January
Yes.
on 2024.
I looked at flights.
Do you think you're going to be there in 2024?
And definitely go to in January. Yeah. I was
Excellent.
there
Well-
3 years ago. 19 was my last NAMM.
Yeah. So if you come, do you think you want to play a show when you come back over here?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
If you need a backup band, we're available.
That's fantastic.
We have to do that song though.
Yes.
We know it. You know, it's funny. I was listening to that, and it sounded like I didn't really hear Susan singing on it. Did you think that, Susan?
No, I was singing.
You did. I know you were because we put you, but your voice matched mine so well that you couldn't tell the difference. I think right in that range, we blend really well and we sound the same. But we did. It's either her and maybe not me at all. I can't remember now. I think I made her do the backgrounds. But it sounds like me still. It's weird.
Yeah.
But that was
That's
really
such
fun.
an honor for me that you did this
Oh,
task.
dude.
It's unbelievable.
I think it's the first song we did.
Really?
And then it was like really hard when we were once we had all these songs, we were trying to pick an order. We just kind of randomized it.
Yeah.
So you're kind of towards the end of the album, so I feel bad, but that's not because that's not for any reason. I can assure you. I can't say that's one of my favorite ones. It definitely is. That's the problem with this whole project. It's like we kind of love all of it, so it's tough, man.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. Yeah.
Well, it's like a greatest hits album. That's what we're really most excited about, is that because all of these artists had such great songs, it's a greatest hits album.
And we got to steal everyone's best. We got to steal everyone's best song.
Yeah.
There you go.
Recorded by non-original artists.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, is that a Guild 512 in the back in your room?
Yes.
That 12 string. I have one of those too. So if you come over here, you can play my Guild and you don't have to take yours.
Perfect.
Yeah, because we always see you at the Rick booth at NAMM, and I know you've got a lot of Rickenbackers, and that's kind of one of the things you do, right? You sell a lot of guitars, no? Or you did?
I should sell a lot of guitars, but I keep most of them myself. That's the problem.
Do you work at a shop or have a shop?
I have a shop, a small shop, especially for guitars. Yeah.
But it's probably the best shop within a long distance of where you live. That I can assure you, and having any Ricks in stock, it makes it a premier store in the world, because that's rare, as you know.
Yeah, that's also my problem, because I think there's not one Rickenbacker which came the last 2.5 years to Europe.
Yeah,
Europe.
The whole of Europe. I see a Hofner back there, and I see another Rick. I'm guessing it's a what is that? A
360. It's 370 actually. 370 12. It's kind of a leftover Roger McGinn without the electronics.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I have one of those from Kenny Howe's also.
the round
Really?
top. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're covered with the guitars. You just show up and we'll book a gig.
look at this bad boy, man.
Whoa.
This is a
That's nice.
This is a 366.
C63.
yeah, but it's a
It's a six string.
Yeah.
Whoa. With 365.
Yeah, and it's got check binding and double bound.
From Andy Babiuk's
That's
shop.
right. That's the one. There's only 25.
I know. Cool.
It's the best Rickenbacker I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's the perfect combination.
So you told us about your single, or that you had a hit over in Germany after that. What else have you been up to like recently?
Recently, we stopped recording with the band. We play together still, play friends, parties, and some cities need a kind of a band for their annual city fest. But I'm recording under Stootsie now. Stootsie is second. I have 2 solo records and started 2 years ago recording the third one. My idea was reliving the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street. So I went to southern France and we rented a small house, not on the beach, a bit uphill. And I had my recording gear with me and wrote and recorded 4 songs. And I thought I'd do an EP, but I think I have so many leftover songs that I want to do a new album. And it takes, I think, 3-4 months, and then it's ready for autumn.
Well, okay, so is there anything on the streaming services that people
Not from
can
the
find?
new one. Not from the new one. The last 2 are on the Stootsie. You find me.
I'm going to find that now. I didn't know about this at all.
Really?
I'm sorry to say. I had no idea.
No idea.
Goes to show you that even when you see people that you like and and you see them on Facebook, they can still be making records, and the algorithms are so horrible that you still don't even know.
I'm not the most best PR person, but it's just fun.
I found you.
And
Okay, Stootsie. This is
Yes.
Oh, Riverside Tales and
Riverside Tales.
Running Around. Okay.
Yes.
That Running Around, I think might have that one. That one looks familiar to me from 2011. But this Riverside.
Can you play any of these?
Sure. What would you like us to play? Maybe something off Riverside Tales?
Drift
Away?
Drift Away.
Yeah, I've got that.
I try to get out, escape from my soul. Speak like an actor, play like an actor, a different role. I'm running away from the scene, cheating the demons and the vampires following me. But the harder I try, the more I see I can't get away from me. And the harder I try, the more I see that you only drift away. You only drift away. You only drift away. I try to be the one with the beautiful mind, a gorgeous smile behind a mask so true and kind. I try to be the one you never miss, the one you will run 1,000 miles for a kiss. But the harder I try, the more I see I can't get away from me. But the harder I try, the more I see that he only drifts away. But the harder I try, the more I see I can't get away from me. And the harder I try, the more I see that he only drifts away. That he only drifts away. That he only drifts away. That he only drifts. You only drift away. That you only drift away.
Lovely.
Woo,
That
was
was
great.
cool. Well, that's Stootsie, everybody. That was Drift Away. Stootsie is spelt like Tootsie, but with an S in the front.
Yes, the Tootsie Roll or Dustin Hoffman Tootsie.
Well, can you explain to us where this name came from? You don't have to. I'm just saying if you want to.
It was maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds in my life. I was always called Stootsie, but written differently with Stutzze since I was a kid. And I got my scooter when I was 16, and it was orange, and I hated orange. And repainted it in green and wanted to have golden accents. And I had a bit of gold left over, and within 20 seconds I thought, maybe I write a combination of... Tootsie was the only movie I went with my mom. But this was 2-3 years earlier. And if I put an S in front, it looks like almost, and I can have the mod target with the double O's, so it's perfect mod look. And
that's awesome. That's it.
And
way better story than I expected.
I painted it on the scooter. Strange.
Do you have pictures of that? Because you should use it if you haven't.
I think I have. Yeah, somewhere.
You should use that.
Right, yeah.
That'd be cool. You're welcome for that wonderful idea. Is it tough for you to? Well, I mean, obviously you speak English perfectly well, which is amazing. To at least to me, I don't speak anything else because I'm American and we're dumb. We don't bother to learn other languages really. Most of us don't. Oh, back is that.
No problem.
But you're writing in it too, which is that's got to be a little weird, a little challenging sometimes. Is that normally what you do?
I listen to just English music or the English spoken lyrics. That's for the last 40 years. So I have no connection to German lyrics. Rarely.
Have you ever done it anyway?
No, never.
Really? That's awesome. That's kind of cool.
I saw a cool band from Germany called Die Sterne, The Stars. It's a very cool band. Die Sterne. They write fantastic lyrics and they are fun.
I'm just excited if you come out at NAMM and we know in advance.
That's a fantastic idea. That's unbelievable. Yeah, I would love to.
I don't think we're going to make NAMM this year because we were going to New Orleans that week. Just worked out that way. But for sure we'll probably want to go the next year too because it's been a while. I usually would never miss. I'd gone for I don't know since I was probably 18 every year.
Okay.
And then one year I really hurt I got in a little bit of a bike accident and I could barely walk, but I did end up going to this one thing there and then and that was it.
Yeah.
And then I think COVID kept it away for a little bit, but and it was very small last year, very tiny. There was hardly anybody there.
But it was in June or something.
Yeah, and it was really weird because they only used, and you would understand this because they only used the main part of the main hall.
Okay.
And just the upstairs main level. They didn't have anything.
Downstairs, the fun.
Yeah, there was nothing downstairs at all. They didn't use the whole upstairs, and they only used, I think, one floor of stuff above that. They did have stuff. Did they still have stuff in the new building? I guess they must have, but it was a whole lot less. And Fender didn't come, and I don't think Gibson was there. Rick did show up. They were even smaller than normal. Yeah.
The thing is, John Hall forced me to come to LA because I had 2 Rickenbacker acoustics, which I bought in Frankfurt at the music fair. There's the big one is in NAMM, and in Europe it's Frankfurt in March. And 92, 93, Rickenbacker displayed 3 acoustics at the booth. And I asked John, what do you do with it? I don't want to take them home with me again. Do you want them? Yes. And I bought 2 of the 3. And after a year, one sort of disintegrated because it was a prototype.
Oh, wow.
And then I wrote to John and said, this happened and I can't bother the distributor because we did it directly.
Right.
So you have to bring it to LA and we can exchange it. And I was this Paul Weller mod. America is bad. I don't want to go to America. Oh. But I had no choice, and I packed everything and put on my winter clothings.
Right.
And got in the plane. I didn't think a minute that it could be anywhere different in the world. And touched down in LA, and I couldn't believe it. At the airport smelled like flowers. It was love at first sight.
Wow.
And I have to thank John for, and I just knew him from this Frankfurt show for 2 or 3 years, where we kind of briefly talked, because he knew from a guy who buys Rickenbackers and sends warranty cards back to the office.
Wow. Well, that's a cool story. I didn't know that either. And then we seems like every year we've seen you there.
Yeah.
And everybody always stops at their booth.
Yeah.
That's usually where we meet everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of works out that way. But it's fun. Yeah, I recently saw Ben. Went down to the factory, and he donated a couple ricks to our school, which is really awesome.
Oh, cool.
So 12 string and like a 330 12 and a 4005, like with black sparkle 4005.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Yeah, but probably
Crazy
a one-off too.
Crazy Ben.
But God bless him. He's doing really good work now. I'm really happy and excited about what he's doing.
Yeah, he's very experimental.
Yeah, he's not worried. He's willing to try things that the fans want.
Yeah,
and like they're bringing back the new fretboards,
shortest fretboard, and so cool.
And they have a new bass coming out, which is really fantastic.
Okay,
I was telling Kenny about it yesterday. I'm pretty excited about it. It's kind of like it's really easy to play. It's like more like a Fender neck. Like a jazz bass neck.
Cool.
Instead of a big, giant, cumbersome Rick neck that makes you that causes pain. It's going to be a lot more comfortable, but it still sounds the way it should. So
yeah, super.
All righty.
Yeah,
well, this was awesome. Thanks for doing a late nighter, and I'm glad you got to get to go to bed a little early. So that's good.
That's easy. Thank you for your Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday. But you have more.
Oh, we have so many more. We have.
Oh God.
Yeah, we did 8 hours yesterday, and I think we've got another. We've got 1, 2, 3, at least 4 more to do after this.
Okay.
So,
thank you so much.
Right on. Stootsie. Appreciate it, Stootsie. That's Stootsie, everybody.
Tim, thank you.
Tschüss.
Bye. Tschüss.
The scene might have known a word for me. It couldn't talk, just sing and dance around the tree. It sang. It started in the sky. Something hit me right between the eyes. Stay in your skies all underwater. I got a romantic problem. Sha-la-la-la-la. I don't know how, but she sits in my garden. Sha-la-la-la-la. I got a romantic problem. Sha-la-la-la-la. I don't know why, but she stays till the morning. You sat there still all night. Your face was lit by candlelight.